Okay, this is lesson 7.5, which is factoring polynomials and then reducing simple fractions. And so the good thing about today is really the fact that reducing fractions is the same no matter how complex the fraction gets. So for example, um, if we were reducing integers, right, 12 divided by 30, or 12 over 30, the first step would be to factor the numerator and denominator. So the numerator would be like 2 times 6 and then 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 times 3. The denominator is 5 times 6, which is 2 times 3. So 5 times 2 times 3. Step 2 would be to reduce the fraction. Reduce meaning anything over 1 cancels. And then rewrite what's left on its new line. So it'd be like 2 over 5. So it's the same idea for factoring and reducing polynomials. It's just more complex. So we'll factor the numerator, which I'm going to tell you is we'd factor out the GCF of 2x, and then it'd be x minus 3 times the quantity x minus 4. I'm just skipping that step because we're going to do it down here. Then we'd also factor the denominator, so it'd be x times the quantity x minus 3. Now that we've factored it, we're going to reduce the fraction, so anything divided by itself is 1. And we'll rewrite what's left. 2 times the quantity x minus 4. Because we're simplifying this, we should distribute it back in 2x minus 8. Okay, so let's do a couple examples. Let me zoom in really quick on example number 1. Number 1 is the simplest that we'll get. So we have 15x squared plus 10x divided by 5x. Step 1 is to rewrite the numerator and denominator as its factors. So I'm going to come over here and do some scratch work. I'll put 15x squared plus 10x in a box because I need to factor out the GCF. They both have an x. These are both 5 times something. 5 times 3x, 5 times 2. So the numerator factors into 5x times the quantity 3x plus 2. The denominator is good how it is. Okay? Now, since this is multiplication, and by the way, this parentheses really protects this stuff. We can't reduce anything inside of there, only stuff outside of it. Anything over itself is 1, so we're left with just 3x plus 2. Let's do number 2. Number 2 says x squared plus 10x plus 25. So I'm going to come to the side. I'm going to do some scratch work. I'm going to choose to use the C&M method because the coefficient of x is just 1. So I need two numbers that multiply to give me 25, but combine to give me 10. 5 and 5, 25 and 1. So if I add 5 plus 5, I'll get 10. If I multiply 5 times 5, I'll get positive 25. So x plus 5, x plus 5. Now for the denominator, this is x squared minus 25. If I wanted to, I can add in the 0 term and then do the box method if I want to. Or I remember that this is a difference of squares. So it'll be x times x will be x squared. And then 5 times 5 will be 25. But one's positive, one's negative. Anything divided by itself is 1. So we can reduce this entire quantity because it's the same thing, and then we just rewrite what's left. Number 3 is where things get a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I need to reduce the numerator, which is 4x squared minus 21x plus 5. So I'm actually going to come to the side. I'm going to do the box method. First term, first box. Last term, last box. Then A times C goes in my T-chart. I'll write down the factors of 20. 10 and 2, 5 and 4, 20 and 1. I'm looking for the two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 21. Or sorry, combine. 20 and 1 will do that if they're both negative. And also, negative 20 times a negative 1 is a positive 20, so we're good. Negative 20x, negative 1x. First, I'll take the signs out. Then I'll take the GCFs. Greatest common factor is just an x. Greatest common factor is, they're both 5 times something. Greatest common factor is 4 times 1, 4 times 5, so 4x. Greatest common factor is 1. So the numerator factors into x minus 5, quantity 4x minus 1. The denominator, I can do the box method if I want to factor out a GCF. 12x squared minus 3x. These both have a 3 and an x. 3 times 4x will be 12x squared. 3 times negative 1 will be negative 3x. 3x times the quantity 4x minus 1. Then anything divided by itself is 1. So we're left with x minus 5 times or divided by 3x. Make sure that you know how to factor if you want to be able to do this lesson.